Imagine this scenario. It's Monday morning. You're walking past your favorite coffee shop. On the way to work, an oat milk latte is calling your name. 6.50. But you stop. You do the mental math. 6.50 a day is 32.50 a week. That's 130 a month. That's a 160 a year. If I invested that over 30 years. So you grit your teeth and walk past. You get to the office and pour yourself a cup of the free break room coffee. It tastes like burnt dirt, but you feel a sense of pride. I am a disciplined consumer. I am building wealth. Fast forward 1 month. You are riding high on your victory. You saved 130. Meanwhile, your coworker, Sarah, bought that 6.50 latte every single morning. She enjoyed every sip. But while she drank it, she spent 15 minutes updating her LinkedIn profile. She used her caffeine boost to speak up in a meeting. She attended an industry networking happy hour. Next quarter, Sarah negotiated a $12,000 raise. Let's look at the scoreboard. You spent a year fighting your own desires to save 1,560. Sarah had one uncomfortable conversation and made $12,000 more. And here is the kicker. Sarah's $12,000 raise repeats next year, and the year after, and the year after that. Your saving strategy requires willpower every single morning forever. Her strategy required 30 minutes of courage once. So here is the uncomfortable question. Who is actually good with money? My name is Dean. I spend way too much time obsessing over the math that financial gurus refuse to tell you. If you are staring at your bank statement wondering, what else can I possibly cut? This video is going to prove that you are asking the wrong question. Hit that subscribe button and let's talk about why your coffee isn't the problem. There is a name for this phenomenon. It is arguably the most successful gaslighting campaign in the history of personal finance. The latte factor, coined by David Bach. In his bestseller, The Automatic Millionaire, the premise is simple. If you cut out your daily latte and invest the money, you'll be a millionaire. For the last 25 years, this has been the gospel. Every finance YouTuber, every budget blog, every guru screams it at you. Cut the coffee. Cancel Netflix. Stop eating avocado toast. They tell you that $12 a month is the difference between poverty and wealth. Let's call this what it is. Financial gaslighting. Why? Not because the math is wrong. The math works. If you save $5 a day at 10% interest for 40 years, sure, you get a nice chunk of change. It is gaslighting because it intentionally distracts you from the bigger, faster, and more effective levers you could be pulling. It drains your mental energy on meaningless micro decisions, so you have no energy left for the macro decisions that actually change your life. Harold Pollack famously said that all the financial advice you actually need fits on a single index card. But the finance industry is a multi-billion-dollar business. You can't sell books, subscriptions, and seminars with an index card. So they complicate it. And the easiest way to complicate it is to make you obsess over every penny you spend. Here is where the science comes in. This explains why the skip the coffee advice fails for 90% of people. Psychologist Roy Baumeister coined a term called ego depletion. Think of willpower like a battery. It is a finite resource. If you use your willpower at 800 a.m. to resist a coffee, you have less battery left at 200 p.m. to focus on deep work, and less battery at 600 p.m. to go to the gym. A 2019 meta-analysis in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology confirmed this. As the number of decisions you make in a day increases, the quality of those decisions crashes. This is decision fatigue. Frugality-focused finance requires you to make dozens of extra decisions every day. Can I afford this lunch? Should I keep this subscription? Is this brand of toothpaste 50 cents cheaper? Every decision drains the battery. And when the battery dies, you get the what the hell effect. Diet researchers call it the moment. You break a diet and eat the whole pizza. In finance, it's revenge spending. You deprive yourself for 3 weeks. You skip the coffee, you skip the happy hour. Then one stressful Friday night, you snap. You drop $300 on Amazon or a night out. You just blew 3 months of savings in 3 hours. And then you feel guilty? I'm just bad with money. No, you're not. You are a human being with a limited battery, and you wasted it all on a $5 problem. Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir wrote a book called Scarcity. They found that obsessing over financial constraints lowers your IQ by 13 points. That is the equivalent of losing a full night of sleep. By worrying about your $6 latte, you are literally making yourself too cognitively exhausted to earn more money. Okay, this is my favorite part. Let's look at the math. There is a concept I call the savings ceiling. No matter how frugal you are, you can only save as much as you earn. You cannot save more than 100% of your income. And realistically, the ceiling is much lower. Let's look at the average American budget. Bureau of Labor Statistics 2023. Housing 33%, transportation 17%, food 13%, insurance 12%, healthcare 8%. These are fixed costs. You can't just decide not to pay rent. Let's calculate your maximum realistic savings. From lifestyle cuts. Skip coffee, plunge 500 year. Cut dining out in half, 2,000 year. Cancel Netflix, Hulu, 600 year. Cheaper phone plan, 400 year. Total savings ceiling, $4,500 a year. That's it. That is your maximum reward for a year of misery and discipline. And if you slip up once, that number drops. Now, let's look at the income ceiling. Spoiler alert, there isn't one. According to Glassdoor 2024, the salary range for the exact same job title often varies by 20% to 40%. One marketing manager makes $65,000. Another makes $90,000. The difference isn't usually skill, it's negotiation. A career builder survey found that 49% of job seekers accept the first offer without negotiating. But of those who did negotiate, 85% got more money. The odds are overwhelmingly in your favor. And the average bump? Usually between $5,000 and $15,000. Let's compare the two strategies over 30 years. Strategy A, you cut coffee. You invest $130 a month, 7% return. Result $150,000. Strategy B, you negotiate a $10,000 raise. You invest the post-tax difference, say $600 a month. Result $700,000. Wait, it gets better. Raises compound. A 3% raise on $75,000 is bigger than a 3% raise on $65,000. Over a career, the person who negotiated once ends up earning over $1 million more than the person who skipped coffee every day. Let's meet Mark and Lisa. Mark, 29 years old, makes $65K. Mark is a disciple of the latte factor. He brings a sad ham sandwich to work every day. He cut his gym membership. He never goes to happy hour. He saves an extra $5,000 a year. But Mark is tired. He says no to himself 50 times a day. He has no hobbies because hobbies cost money. He is burning out. Lisa, 29 years old, makes $65K. Lisa buys the coffee. She goes to the happy hour. But Lisa spends her energy differently. In year 1, she spends $500 on a certification course. In year 2, she uses that skill to negotiate a raise to $75K. In year 3, she leverages her network to jump to a competitor for $95K. By year 5, she's making $115K. The result after 10 years, Mark has saved about $80,000 through pure suffering. His salary is barely keeping up with inflation. Lisa has invested the difference between her old salary and new salary. Her net worth is triple Mark's, and she enjoyed her 20s. That is the difference between a savings mindset and an earning mindset. Let's talk about how this feels. It feels like walking around with a low-level anxiety hum all day. It feels like guilt when you buy a sandwich. It feels like isolation when you turn down dinner with friends because it's not in the budget. And the worst feeling? It's when you save diligently for 6 months, scraping together $2,000, and then your car breaks down. The repair bill is $2,000. Back to zero. This leads to learned helplessness. When your massive effort yields zero progress, you stop trying. The latte factor turns money into an enemy. It turns your life into a prison of your own making. So who benefits from this? Who profits when you believe coffee is the enemy? The frugality industry. Budget apps that charge you $10 a month to track your spending. Financial advisors who charge fees to manage your meager savings. Gurus selling books on how to clip coupons. They can't sell you earn more because that requires you to do the work. But they can sell you a tool to save more. More importantly, corporate America loves this narrative. Think about it. If you believe your poverty is caused by your coffee habit, who are you not blaming? Your employer. If you are busy cutting coupons, you aren't busy researching salary data. You aren't organizing a union. You aren't asking for a raise. Spend less is a very convenient message for companies that don't want to pay you more. I can hear the comments already. Dean, negotiating a raise isn't easy. My boss is cheap. You're right. It's not easy. But remember the stats, 85% success rate. And if your current boss says no, the biggest raises come from switching jobs. The average raise for staying is 3%. The average raise for switching is 10–20%. The market pays. Loyalty doesn't. I'm not in a position to negotiate. Then getting into that position is your number one financial priority. Not cutting Netflix. Spend that $15 Netflix money on a Udemy course. Spend that coffee time on LinkedIn. Increase your value. That is the only investment with a 1,000% return. Are you saying savings don't matter? No. You need an emergency fund. You need to not be reckless. But stop giving 90% of your energy to the defensive side of the ball. Spend 20% of your energy on spending less and 80% on earning more. Flip the script. So what do we do? Here is your battle plan. Step 1. The market value audit. Take 1 hour this week. Go to Glassdoor, LinkedIn Salary, or PayScale. Find out what your job title pays in your city. Most people are underpaid and don't even know it. Knowledge is leverage. If you realize you are being paid $15K under market rate, that realization is worth more than a lifetime of skipped lattes. Step 2. The $500 skill sprint. Once a year, invest $500 in 40 hours into a new high-demand skill. AI tools, data analysis SQL, project management PMP. According to Georgetown University, a relevant certificate can boost earning power by $6,000 to $12,000 a year. Spend $500 to make $10,000. That is an investment, not an expense. Step 3, the uncomfortable 30 minutes. Commit to one uncomfortable conversation this year. Ask for the raise. Pitch the freelance client a higher rate. Apply for the job you think you aren't qualified for. Professor Linda Babcock found that people who negotiate their starting salary earn $600,000 more over their lifetime than those who don't. 30 minutes of sweating versus $600,000. You do the math. Frugality is defense. Income is offense. You cannot win a game by only playing defense. The question is, your energy is limited. Do you want to spend it fighting a war against a $5 coffee? Or do you want to spend it fighting for a $15,000 raise? A saved dollar is a saved dollar, but an earned dollar is the seed of a fortune. Do me a favor. Go buy the latte. Enjoy it. But while you drink it, open Glassdoor and look up your salary. The coffee isn't the problem. The paycheck is. If this video helped you see the math differently, hit like and subscribe, and send this to that friend who brings the sad ham sandwich to work every day.